Okay, I'm going to go over context, unity and variety, visual hierarchy, and encoding. So for context, the central message of my infographic is information about teenage pregnancy in North Carolina. So some ways that I organized that information was by year. So a lot of my data is aggregated from the year 2011. And a lot of it is shown through birth rate. So that was kind of a standard way of showing teenage pregnancy. It's actually the amount of births per 1,000 females. Um, so the number display and the location display both give pregnancy information through birth rates. Another way that I kind of aggregated my information was that it was based in North Carolina. So everything but the relationship display is actually data directly from North Carolina. The one change in that is actually the relationship display. It deals with a monetary value, which actually nothing else in the display deals with, but also with my source, when I chose a single parent household making less than $60,000 a year, it only could give me information nationally rather than regionally or based on state. And it's actually the most recent data, so that would be more from 2014 rather than based on 2011. Alright, that's context. So for unity and variety, the color scheme, I have kind of a sequential use of browns, but then also a primary color scheme going on. And the browns, all of the browns are repeated, so either they're background color in two places or they're used for background and text. They're all repeated throughout in different places. The primary colors, none of them carried any necessary connotation with them. So in each image, they're all used in different proportions, different reasons, but the same three colors are mirrored everywhere. The only color that is not repeated is actually this light blue up in the corner. It's actually from one of my models, and I really liked it. And I actually don't feel like it draws any undue attention to itself, so I left it in there, even though it's actually not repeated anywhere else in the infographic. I also use text to create a little bit of variety. All of my labels and titles are in kind of a bold sans serif, and all of my body text, subtitles, and annotations are in this italicized serif font. For shapes, I used a lot of rounded shapes, so the corners are all rounded corners, which also mirrors kind of the circles of the figures' bellies and heads, the circles within the relationship display, the circles in the appearance display. But to kind of offset that, I also added some sharp edges. So kind of the title banner, I didn't round the edges on that. The location display, just the shape of North Carolina and the shapes of the counties, are these really jagged shapes, and so I kind of wanted to mirror that also in these sharp 90-degree angles of the connection lines in my relationship display as well. Besides this left column for over there, I kind of created a unity in size, but other than that, I have a lot of variation in my size of images throughout the infographic. And so to go back to my models, so I didn't really see a lot of unity going on in this display, so I was actually working more from this, so which has these titles are really kind of sharp edges, but then the images within use a lot of rounded circles, so they're kind of playing off of each other, and that's kind of what I was going with my sharp and rounded images. So for encoding, for the most part, I used color. Like I said, none of the colors really brought any connotation with them. So I kind of just chose the encoding for each image and just kind of went with it. So for the most part, I used color for encoding. The one exception to that, again, is the relationship display. I was able to use size for encoding, so the size of the bubble also shows the monetary value within, and then also my use of text in that one. So all of the categories, so the category, subcategory, subcategory, um, all use my labels font, which is this all caps. Then all of the monetary values carry this italicized font. So I was able to use color, size, and font for my encoding. Visual hierarchy. I feel like that goes mainly from sizing, but also for me, here, I'll start at the beginning. So when I first saw it, I kind of saw this horizontal title bar up at the top, and then coming down from that, I saw these three kind of columns, which is kind of how I worked with my infographic. And after going from the title, for me, I go straight to text. I'm a really text-heavy person. So for me, the first image I go to is this location display over here. It's really detailed, and it's surrounded by this text, so I feel like I'm going to get a lot of information from that. So my eye naturally goes there. Um, After that, this middle display, it has a different background color. It's also just its mere size draws my attention. Um, so I kind of I'm moving from right to left and end up on this left corner over here where the images are smaller. They're more ordered, so when I get over here, I just kind of go from top to bottom. This way of looking at it is a little bit at odds, where you kind of want to go to an image and read it left to right. But the meaning of each of them, I feel like the way it's read is understandable with the message. I feel like this really detailed information over here gives you a good base. Um, and then the middle image shows you kind of the effects of teenage pregnancy, and then there's a little bit of additional information over here. So that is how I read it.